What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Better Baseball. As usual, I'm Patrick Hennessy. Everyone's having a beautiful Thursday evening, bro. Vibes are high, vibes are good, vibes are beautiful. The baseball world is rejoicing, I guess. Fernando Tatis Jr. returns tonight. If you're a Mets fan, you're not rejoicing because Max Scherzer just got a 10-game suspension. Apparently, he's not appealing either. We'll talk about that. We'll get into that, actually. And also, apparently the Oakland A's are moving to Vegas. We have a lot to talk about tonight. Fernando Tatis Jr.'s return actually just happened. The Padres game started at 9:40, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm pretty sure he already had his first at-bat. He was 0 for 1 currently. But, big stuff going on tonight, bro. We're going to start things off with my conversation with my boy, Wardy. He's a Mets content creator, bro. He produces some of the best content on the platform, so make sure you check him out. I will address this now. This conversation was earlier today. Okay, just so once I play our conversation, everyone's not like, ooh, pre-recorded, Pat, you're a fraud. You're a fraud, okay? Sometimes conversations are pre-recorded. Oh, well, suck it up. And then I'll see you guys afterwards, and then we'll talk about Tatis. But before we get into that, shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody watching on replay. Appreciate you all the same way. I appreciate the live people a little bit more just because, bro, I like talking to you guys live. It's as simple as that. But, shout out to Emmanuel Castro. We got D&E Show. We got Lori, Not So Family Fun Vision, Jose. Appreciate you all so much. I love you all so much, bro. Before we get into anything else, I say we just hop right into topic number 1, and that is my conversation with Wardy regarding the state of the New York Mets. See you guys soon. All right, everybody, we're here for a special little segment with my guy, Mets fanatic, Wardy. He covers the Mets on his beautiful YouTube channel, has the best Mets content around. Figured we'd bring him on today to talk a little Mets baseball, specifically Max Scherzer. Wardy, he's facing a 10-game suspension. Apparently, he's the biggest cheater in Major League Baseball. Give me your thoughts on the
Dude,
on
Phil
the whole
Cuzzy is an
situation.
effing schmuck. Let's just start there, okay? Like, seriously, this guy in my post-game show, I went out my way to make a schmuck of the game with him in a little clown outfit. That's how I feel about the first base ump there that threw my man Max out of the game. You're telling me a 15-year vet who's never done any of this nefarious nonsense, had no spike in RPMs, nothing, thrown out, and he's kind of the head of the players union. If you think they're going to take this lightly, they're not going to. I'm still pissed off about it because of the short-term impacts on the Mets rotation. Max is fuming about it. There's going to be legal action coming out of this 100%. They're appealing right away. I got plenty to say on this, man. I've been ranting about the past 24 hours, but if there's one thing that I can say, at least where it doesn't necessarily hurt the Mets right now, it's that during this appeal process, it will likely go on between 2 weeks to a month because of the previous 2 ejections that we've seen in baseball, both from, of course, Phil Cuzzy. It's almost like there's more going on there with this one ump being the guy to throw out pitchers, right? But in both those previous instances to the guy from Seattle and then the guy from Arizona, I'm blanking on their names, pardon me, after they were initially ejected, it was a couple of weeks after, if not a month later, that after their appeal process that they began their suspension of 10 games or less, depending on how those appeals went. So Max is going to be in the Mets rotation for likely at minimum the next couple weeks, and Justin Verlander returns, makes his Mets debut in the next week and a half or so. So that's definitely a plus, at least, so it doesn't hurt the rotation as much right now as they have other injuries going on by Carlos Carrasco. But yeah, once that officially happens, I mean, if he loses his appeal, which I honestly don't think is going to happen, I think he's going to win his appeal. Just a matter of if he's going to be missing, 1 start or no starts over, because a 10-game span means you're missing 2 starts, 5 games means you're missing 1, and then from there. But I'm really curious on exactly how this appeal is going to go, because he's in a spot right now where if he loses the appeal and say he has to serve those 10 games, then the Mets are down a roster spot for 10 effing games. And that's not ideal for a Mets team in their bullpen that has been getting worked to start the season.
Yeah, but if you don't want that to happen, then don't cheat. You know what I mean?
All right. Don't stop.
Listen,
I know a Yankees fan isn't talking right now. I know Domingo Germán didn't just get checked, a couple days ago? Go wash your hands, dude. Max did the same thing. This drives me nuts.
I think, for anybody who's maybe not aware of the situation, so basically what happened, maybe if I miss any details, you could fill them in.
Oh, I'll fill you in.
Scherzer was pitching against the Dodgers. The umpire kind of felt his hand. He had some sticky substance on there. He goes, yo, Max, go wash your hand. He goes to wash his hand, apparently with alcohol, while an MLB official watched him do it.
Yes.
He watched him wash. Get it? Like that.
I like that. Play more.
And then
There
he
you go.
came back on the mound, and apparently they checked him again. His glove was still sticky, and then that's when they threw him out. Scherzer had an absolute temper tantrum, reasonably so. I'd probably freak out too, especially if I'm like, yo, I'm not doing anything wrong. He sweared on his kids'
He sweared on his
lives
kids'
that
lives.
he wasn't using
Yes.
any sort of substance. So I think overall, it's just a crazy ass situation. And I hate to say this, and I hate to do this to you. This is typical Mets, bro. Like I can't see this happening with if Scherzer was on the Dodgers, if he was on the Nationals, this is a situation that would never happen.
Oh, I agree. I mean, it's the fact again. There's only been 3 ejections since the sticky substance breakdown started over the past 2 years, and you're really gonna do it to Max of all people. Like, here's what I find honestly crazy about this entire situation. For Max to be singled out like this, again, well, you had one ump, Dan Bellini, whatever his name was, Bellino, Potato, coming after the game and say that, that was like the stickiest hand that I felt and like since the sticky substance breakdown. Here's the thing. Is there I could be wrong, but the level of stickiness, how much does that mean when you're just using rosin and sweat? Okay. If he was coming out using spider tack like the Garrett Cole special back in the day, then I think you
Okay.
have a better argument here, but you don't. So this is why I'm like, why is this happening? There was no drop. There was no spike in RPMs. There was none of that. And we've seen that week by week. You saw how that Herman start came. I'm not trying to tie the two. The point just stands. It's frustrating that you see what happened when Herman, for example, is told to wash his hands. Okay. And he stays in the game. Happens to with Max, but they still don't like the stickiness. Like the rosin buildup happens inside the glove because naturally as a pitcher, right? What are you doing? Every time you get the baseball, Max is licking his hand. He does it. He does 3 times. He licks his hand every single time, and he's gripping that baseball. No effing shit. The hand is going to get rosin on it into the glove and get some buildup. So they told him to change his glove the first time as a warning. He's like, okay. And then Phil Cuzzy, after Max brought him a new glove, this was prior to him being thrown out of the game. This was an inning prior, right? He hands his glove to Phil Cuzzy, the first base ump, and then Cuzzy looks at it and he chucks it back into Max's chest. Like, what is that pettiness? Oh, you're upset that Max is willing to change his glove? Like, this is where is this entitlement nonsense coming from? The other ump, Dan Bellino, whatever his name was, is the same ump that did that stare down contest with Mass and Bumgarner like a year ago. Like, these guys have no right to be acting the way that they are, and yet they're getting away with it. Because one more thing I gotta say, Pat, they just targeted Max effing Scherzer, who is, of course, Scott Boras and him are like this, the head of the union for the most part. If you don't think that this has a chance to backfire so bad in MLB's face, you have no clue. Because if Max comes out of this appeal and wins the appeal and say isn't suspended at all, or maybe just a couple of games where it doesn't even make him miss a start, how bad is that going to look for the MLB? How can it not? So there's a lot that they're putting on the line with this when you think about it from a PR aspect.
It's a very bad look. Like, especially if Scherzer like takes legal action, like we're kind of looking at potentially going, it could be a really bad look for MLB.
Yeah.
But I'm still not over the fact where you kind of took a little shot at Garrett Cole for no reason.
Get over it.
But dude, he's the best pitcher. You know how we used to have the conversation like, oh, like who's the best pitcher in New York? Not only is Garrett Cole the best pitcher in New York now, he's the best pitcher in all of Major League Baseball. Just throwing that out.
Just wait till JV returns. We'll see.
He's never, bro. Justin Verlander is never touching the mound on Citi Field. He's never coming back. Never.
Okay, so all right, makes sense why you got the Cray shirt on. I'm seeing what I'm doing with it right now.
Do you like it?
All right. Yeah, I do like it. I'm not gonna
It's a good
lie.
shirt.
I
It's a
would
good
have loved it more if he was on the team. But in hindsight, we're not getting on that debate. I would have loved him on the team. He has Swiss cheese for an ankle apparently. So it is what it is. We'll see what he looks like in a couple of years.
There is one guy who I do want to talk about who is actually on the Mets. That's Pete Alonso, bro.
Yeah.
As you may know, like I'm not the biggest Pete Alonso guy. I think
no, you rag on him constantly.
I think he's a little cringy, but I will. I'm giving credit where credit's due, and he has. I don't want to say he's won me over this year, but I'm kind of like softening up to him a little bit because even if I dislike a player, when they are showing just pure greatness, which is what Pete Alonso's off to start the 2023 season, I have no choice but to sit down and respect the man, bro, because he entered the season, clearly lost some weight. I was skeptical. I was like, yo, maybe that's going to kill some of his power. Clearly hasn't. He's off to one of the best starts in his career. And kind of, I want to hear your thoughts on Pete Alonso's start to the season.
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate that. Especially with Yankees fans, they just love to rag on Alonso. And I think the biggest thing that personally bothers me is the comparison with Judge. Like, no, we can't compare the two. We all know
Sure.
Judge is a better player. He always has been in that regard. He's a different athlete than what Alonso is. So I hate those comps, but I know they inevitably come when you're both playing in the Big Apple. But to your point, yeah, Alonso's been off to a great start this season, and not only tying the league, especially in the NL and home runs right now with 8, if I'm not mistaken, but it's how he's taking his at bats. He's really grinding his at bats out well, and he's not just hitting home runs. He's hitting, going right down the pipe for singles. He's hitting for opposite field, and that's something that we saw more of last year, which is why I thought last year was Alonso's best offensive season, trumped his rookie year in which he had 53 home runs, because it was the quality of at bats that he was taking without juice baseballs, might I add, last season. And now he's just carrying that over. Like, he is the leader of this offense through and through. Him and Lindor, when they're on, that's how this offense gets on a roll and they get on their win streaks. When they're not on, then they have a major problem. So they're a little too reliant on Alonso, no doubt about it. But when he's on, which he will be likely for the majority of the year, we're looking at another fantastic season by him. So yeah, I've been absolutely, spoiled with Alonso since he has come up to the bigs, and his production on a day by day level. He is so much more than just your prototypical slugger, because he grinds out at bats. He's not just chasing slider down away every single time. He's really shored that up well. Don't get me wrong, you'll still catch him because he is a home run hitter at the end of the day, but he's able to give you around, let's say, a 270, 275 average even. And, he's going to have a strong OBP. He's going to have a north of 900 to 1,000 OPS. Like, he gives you exactly everything that you want in a guy that is like him, a slugger, but more than that, not just a guy that's huge swing and miss. He will give you those opposite field hits and grind out at bats in runners in scoring position type situations. So yeah, loving me some Pete so far this year.
Yeah, and this is a narrative that I love to use so far this season. And I'm kind of comparing like Alonso to be the hitter version of Garrett Cole in the sense of mentally, right? We're looking at two guys who I think have kind of gained substantially from the pitch clock, hitter clock, whatever you want to call it, because they're both such mental freaks, right? I view Garrett Cole as a
Pete
mental
is so
freak.
mental. It's
And I
ridiculous.
think I think one of the main reasons Cole is so dominant so far to start the year is because he doesn't really have time to think too much on the mound and get himself into
I
trouble.
like that
And
thought
that's why
process. Yeah.
Pete is the same way, right? Like that's why I'm thinking Pete is doing so good at the plate this year because he doesn't have time to work himself out of an at bat. I was watching MLB Network the other day. I really wish I remember who said it, but one of the analysts on there said that Pete Alonso is the type of guy who can kind of count himself out of an at bat before it's even over. And now I think with the pitch clock, he doesn't really have time to do so, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I really love that point about Cole as well, because I obviously haven't been watching Cole on an every start basis, especially with me being a Mets fan. But I'm following and I'm always keeping track with what he's doing across town in the Bronx, and that's a great point on his part. And I like that kind of comparison, if you will, to how Alonso has been taking as a bats. Because you're right, you don't have time to just dilly dally and think you have all the time in the world. Now you can only ask time once when you're in there for your at bat, right? So he needs to be quick, he needs to be fast, and he needs to be effective. And he's taking advantage of pitchers that say aren't fully acclimated to the pitch clock either. And even when they are, he's still locked in and hammering baseballs 450 plus feet out of the park. So Cole, I see that for sure, especially with him, because he is a mental guy. And we all know the biggest gripe about Cole, for example, hasn't necessarily been what he does in the regular season, but more so what he hasn't done in the big games in the postseason, right? And now Alonso is similar in the sense of like we've seen him be dominant year after year in regular season. Down the stretch, he had some unfortunate choke jobs and big moments for us, but in postseason, he wasn't a huge liability or anything like that, albeit it was a very small sample size against San Diego. So these are two guys in their own rights, respectively, that are not only expected to continue on massive years in their positions, but more than anything, actually be huge aspects of their teams having deep postseason runs.
Yeah, and I hate to keep going back to Cole, but bro, did you really just say he hasn't shown up in the postseason? It was
Not a
one start.
I no, not with the Yanks. I'm still first thing that pops in
Did
my
you
head.
not see his postseason last
No,
year?
I didn't watch enough of it. I know he was better last year, but you know what? You know what's still stuck in my head? I'm not even gonna lie. When I think about Cole and
What?
postseason, it's just Boston. Like, how can it
Yeah,
not be?
okay. All right,
So,
Wardy.
like, that's the first. That's the first thing that's always gonna be in my head.
Whatever. Back to the Mets. I think this is the last thing Mets we want to talk about. And I know you want to talk about their youth movement because the Mets have a couple of really big prospects. They have Alvarez, they have Beatty, both kind of starting to make an impact at the major league level. So kind of like give me your thoughts on that and kind of maybe one guy you're most excited for.
Oh, that's a good. I mean, most excited is Beatty. I mean, Alvarez has been the top prospect in baseball, but he was rushed up this year because Narvaez, our secondary catcher, is out for a couple months with injury. So Alvarez wasn't expected to start the year with the Mets, and he is. And he's pressing. You know, he is bat first. He's a 21-year-old that can hit absolute bombs out of the park. He's a very strong framer too, but he's someone that still needs to work on his approach to the play and has plenty of time to do so. So Alvarez is going to be great for the long term. But Beatty is when it comes to bat to ball skills, is MLB ready right now. He was tearing the cover off the ball in spring training, and then unfortunately started the year in AAA because the Mets just wanted to go with their veteran Eduardo Escobar, and Eddie just is not consistent enough to warrant in that position. So Beatty, after hitting 400 with a 500 OBP, leading all of AAA in average exit velo with 100 mph every time he's hitting up there, 5 home runs, 15 RBIs. He was doing it all. Already has an RBI in his first game of the season against Dustin May. Was it Dustin May, or maybe it was? I think it was Dustin May, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm loving with what I'm seeing from Beatty, both offensively and defensively. The Mets youth movement, they don't have a deep prospect pool per se because they trade a lot prior to Cohen during the Wilpon era, but they really have a front line of MLB caliber talent that's ready pretty much now and next year. Not only them, but Ronnie Mauricio, who's looking like O'Neill Cruz light out there. The guy is absolutely insane. We want to put him in the corner because he's still starting at shortstop right now, which might mean that the Mets might view him more as a trade piece versus, say, a long-term piece. We'll see on that front. But then you have Mark Vientos, who's another guy that can come in at DH/first base and hits absolute bombs. Had a little sprinkle of taste at the MLB level towards the end of last year. Will likely be brought up again in the coming months, I'd imagine, because he is absolutely killing it in AAA. All these guys, they looked like the freaking Globetrotters out there when they started in AAA this year. They were just hitting 8 to 10 runs every single game, home run galore every single game. Like, I never saw anything like it. So yeah, finally the Mets have some homegrown talent offensively that is on the cusp of breaking out together, and it starts with Beatty and Alvarez right now.
Yeah, and I think what I'm most excited for as a diehard Mets fan myself is to kind of just see them on the field at the same time as Justin Verlander,
Yeah.
which kind of seems like it's never gonna happen. But you know, we'll see. Morty, one last question for you, Mets wise. I guess maybe you give me a simple yes or no. Maybe you could go a little bit more in depth. Do the Mets finally take the NL East this year?
Do the Mets finally take the NL East this year? I predicted no heading into the year. I think it's going to be a dogfight between. Funny enough, I actually said the Phillies would win it all. I know they're not off to the hottest start,
Same.
but here's the thing. I think that experience the Phillies had last year is really going to bode them well down the stretch, and I think the Braves are going to continue to do Braves things. So I'm not going to sit here and say that the Mets are locked to win the division because, to be quite frank with you, that doesn't mean as much to me as I thought it would have a year ago. After seeing what transpired towards the end of last year, seeing the Mets being first all year and then the Braves finally catching up to them, it looked like it gassed out the Mets at the worst time. And then heading into postseason, the Padres were able to play underdogs and do so well in that series and go on a deep run. But then you see the Braves, you know, they had a great run for the majority of last year, finally getting first, and they absolutely shit the bed against the Phillies in that first round. Well, the Mets, I mean, quite frankly, slapped them around all regular season last year. So I would have liked the Mets matchup against the Phillies should have happened, but it never did come postseason play. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with the Mets and where they align. I'm confident that they, of course, are going to make playoffs. But more than anything, it's just about making sure you're hot at the right time. Phillies were a great example of that. As soon as they started to get those little sprinkles of life in that Braves series, they went on a run. Padres, similar thing. Padres were inconsistent all last year, too. So you just got to be hot at the right time. Winning the division would be dope. I would love to see it happen, but that isn't my end goal for the Mets this year. I just want to see them actually have a deep playoff run more than anything.
I guess we'll see, right? All I do know is you gotta believe, Wardy.
You
You gotta
you
believe.
gotta believe, Pat. Thank you
But
so much.
I think that's gonna wrap up our very beautiful conversation here. If you guys are a Mets fan and you're not subscribed to Wardy, like you're borderline psychotic. Even if you're a baseball fan, not a Mets fan, subscribe to him. He has the best content on YouTube, bro. Beautiful stuff. Wardy, thank you for hopping on.
Thank
Bro,
you so
we gotta
much,
do this
Pat.
again. Maybe
We
when the
gotta do it
Yankees play the
again.
Mets, we'll go to a game. I don't know. We'll see.
Hey, maybe. How you doing? We'll see what happens. I would be completely down for it. Thank you again, Pat.
Hey, chat. Long time no see. I know. I missed you guys. All right, bro. I think that was a great conversation. Wardy is a little bit of a psychotic Mets fan and a little bit of a Yankees hater, but that's something we've known. If you know Wardy, you know that that's just who he is. But yeah, bro, we're back. I know. Oh, pre-recorded Pat gone, dude. Now it's live. I'm here. I'm interacting with you guys. Let's roll. Yeah, solid conversation. There was one thing I want to mention, and that also is that, like, that conversation was before we found out that Max Scherzer wasn't going to appeal. So now that we know he's not appealing, so dude, 10-game suspension max, you're cooked. But yeah, let's talk about Fernando Tatis Jr. and his return real quick. Because like I said, I mean, I think this is kind of a big deal, bro. We're looking at a guy who was one of the faces of Major League Baseball up until the injury and the suspension and just all that chaos that happened. He hasn't played a Major League Baseball game in 564 days, which is basically a year and a half. We haven't seen the dude since 2021, right? Postseason of 2021. And regardless of what people think about him, I am so excited for the return of Fernando Tatis Jr. I think it's great for the sport of baseball. I think it's great for the San Diego Padres. I just think it's awesome to have a superstar back on the field. And without a doubt, Fernando Tatis Jr. is an absolute superstar. So I am locked into his return. Is he going to be great off the jump? Probably not. He's going to have a little bit of struggle. The dude hasn't played Major League Baseball in a year and a half. But I think as time goes on, he's really going to step in and cement himself once again as one of the top players in the league. So shout out to Fernando Tatis Jr. Looking forward to seeing what he could do. I'm looking forward to seeing the Padres this year, bro. You look at the top four in their lineup, one of the most lethal in all of baseball. You're looking at Tatis, Soto, Machado, Bogarts. Geesh. G. Willikers. Are they going to win the AL West? I don't know. The Diamondbacks are pretty good, but we'll see. Tatis to the Yankees, maybe. It's possible. In other AL West news, bro, the Diamondbacks, speaking of them, they DFA'd Madison Bumgarner today. Maybe he to the Yankees. I don't know. We'll see. Emmanuel Castro says, I feel Tatis had the bad end because the news only broke near the end of the season when it was already known. Bro, I think all Tatis has to do for everyone to kind of forget about the whole steroid stuff is just perform, right? I think it's as simple as that, where if Tatis kind of puts up a stellar year this year, no one's even going to care about the past stuff, dude. It's the same thing that happened with A-Rod. It's the same thing that happens with every other guy. Bro, look at Nelson Cruz. Nelson Cruz was suspended for steroids. He comes back, rakes for the next 10 years. No one even remembers. So all you have to do is kind of just perform to a level where nobody remembers what you did, and you're chilling. That's all you got to do. It's like, yo, chat, if I'm really bad at streaming, and then I disappear for a few months and then come back, no one will ever remember I was bad. That's exactly what happened. I fell off, took a few months off, came back, and now I consider myself I'm in my prime. Maybe I'm not in my prime yet. Who knows? Just saying. But yeah, overall, I think Tatis coming back is great for the sport of Major League Baseball, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes, bro. That's all I got to say. You still remember. Dude, you don't remember anything. You don't know me, little pup. Sorry, that was a little dramatic, a little unnecessary. Yo, you know what else is a little unnecessary? Me being negative all the time, bro. Like, okay, this is one thing. Me and Dan, if you guys are familiar with the Yankees Avenue show, Dan and I recorded an episode tonight, and I realized to myself, I'm like, bro, I've been really negative about the New York Yankees lately. So if you guys watch that episode, you're gonna see a real pessimistic version of Pat. And I'm going to attempt to try and change that, but also at the same time, I don't feel bad. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, yo, this is how I feel about the current state of the Yankees. I'm not positive about the current state of the Yankees. I'm not happy about it. So I'm not going to like fake positivity just for the sake of faking it, but I'm going to try to be a little bit less negative. I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm turning into like a grumpy old man when it comes to the Yankees. And that's why I like talking about just like baseball, because it's like I enjoy it. I don't have any emotional attachment to it. I think the Yankees, I get a little too emotionally attached sometimes. I need a vacation, bro. I don't take vacations. I don't know what that means. But topic number 3. Oh, that's not the right topic. Hold on, chat. There we go. The A's are moving to Las Vegas, dude. Not so family fun. Vince says in 2021 you were overly positive. Now you're negative. Make it make sense, Pat. I know, dude. I don't know. That's why I'm trying to have it make. I don't get it. It's like I flip my persona. New character unlocked. I don't know, but I don't know. Maybe I'll regress to the mean at some point. But yeah, dude, 2021 I was like ridiculously positive, and now it's like I don't know. But yeah, the A's are apparently moving to Vegas. I saw the owner purchased a plot of land in Las Vegas or something for them to build the new stadium. Where's the article? Here, the Oakland A's agreed to purchase land near the Las Vegas Strip. It's for a 49-acre site owned by Red Rock Resorts. They told, so whoever Caval is, the team president, he told the Las Vegas Review-Journal a 1.5 billion, 35,000 seat stadium with a partially retractable roof would be built on site, adding that other developments, including restaurants and an amphitheater, are being discussed. So it looks like the A's are looking to move there by 2027. So within 4 years, bro, we could be looking at the Las Vegas Athletics. I was gonna call them the Las Vegas Oakland Athletics. That would just be stupid. And I'm not. Am I stupid? No. I'm smart sometimes. But yeah, Las Vegas A's. Maybe they'll change their name. Maybe they won't. If anybody has some good name ideas, let me know. I'm thinking like the Las Vegas High Rollers, or like the Las Vegas Aces. Ooh! The Aces. Oh my God. Someone write that down. Bro. No. I'm trademarking that because that's really freaking good, dude. Pat, now they will be closer to their AAA team. Yeah, they got the alien team. What's that? They're like the Las Vegas 51s or something, right? I used to always play for them in Road to the Show. Bro, I miss Road to the Show. When I was younger, I used to get home from school, pop on MLB The Show, play Diamond Dynasty, have no responsibilities. Oh, I have homework to do? Okay, I'll do it the next morning in 20 minutes before my 30-minute walk to school, bro. Life comes at you quick. MLB 16 The Show was maybe the greatest video game of all time. MLB 15 The Show was really good. I feel like once 17 hit, it kind of started to fall off. 19 was electric. Bro, dude. Ain't there already LV Aces? Let me check. Las Vegas Aces. Oh, that's so stupid. They're a basketball team. Oh, they're a WNBA team. Okay, that I didn't know they were. I wasn't meaning to diss the WNBA. I thought it was like an independent basketball team. Isn't Candace Parker like a big deal? I don't know many WNBA players, but I do know Candace Parker. Apparently, she's on the Aces. Bro, name them the A's, and then the A's could take the Aces name. Man, I used to put my home run music on the show back in the day. Bro, MLB The Show kind of fell off, but I don't know if MLB The Show fell off or if I just outgrew it. I think about that a lot of times with things in life. Like, yo, did WWE fall off or did I just grow out of it? Beats me, little pups. Oh, I just locked myself out of my phone. Chat. Don't ask me how I did that. I just locked myself out of my phone. MLB 16 The Show had the greatest MLB The Show soundtrack was the one with Roddy Ricch. And I was down bad. Now I'm on a jet for real. You guys know what I'm talking about. I don't know. I don't remember what game that was. Maybe 20? That was a good soundtrack. There was like a Jack Harlow song on there too. Good job, Pat. Thank you, bro. I'm going to be, next time I try to unlock my phone, I'm going to be doing it like I'm defusing a bomb just to make sure that I don't get it, like, deactivated for, like, 30 minutes, you know? AB says hi. Hi, AB. How are you doing today? It's nice seeing you here. Hope you're doing well, because I'm doing well. But, yo, chat, I'm very, very sad to say there will be no stream tomorrow night. That's why I'm streaming tonight. And likely no stream Saturday night. I am hopeful, though. Very, very hopeful. We will be streaming on Unhinged Yankees on Sunday night. Very hopeful for that. Maybe that's a return of Positive Pat. Maybe I need to, like, get back to my roots a little bit, bro. Maybe I need to, like, interact with a live chat talking about the Yankees. Because, dude, I don't know. Something about my Yankees vibes lately, they're not there. And we need to change. We need to change, bro. Hopefully we have a patty party on Sunday night on Unhinged Yankees. But, yeah, I appreciate you all for stopping by. Like I said, no stream tomorrow, no stream Saturday. Hopefully we'll see you guys on Unhinged Yankees on Sunday, and then we're back to doing the better baseball streams on Monday night. So, appreciate you all for stopping by. Hope you guys enjoyed Wardy today. I think it was a nice little collab. I'm gonna try to do like maybe one collab a week moving forward. So, appreciate Appreciate you all. You guys are the best. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications for more. Follow Better Baseball and just about everything. Peace.